I am at the 14th annual Townie meeting in the year 2016, and I am honored to be here with Ahmad Reza. How are you doing? I love your sumo suit.
Pleasure to be here.
So, here's Jill. So why are you in a sumo wrestling suit? Are you trying to be as fat as me?
Well, I tried gaining enough weight before the show, but that wasn't possible. Our new product's called Call Sumo. It's call tracking for dentists. And the idea is like a sumo wrestler that tackles your marketing, crunches numbers. That's what we do. We're primarily a software company. We do marketing software for dentists.
You know, the dentist will not blink at spending, $80,000 on a laser. But then you go to that dentist and say, how many incoming calls did you have last month? No idea. I mean, I say 500, 1,000, 1,200, no idea. You say, how many of your incoming calls came from a number that's not in your patient management system? No idea. Then you say, how many inpatient calls that are from phone numbers not in your system does it take to get one new patient butt in a chair? No idea. And then you say, well, what is the wear rate of your composite? 11 microns. I only use helium Miller. What is the bonding strength of your composite? 20 megapascal. It seems like they always know everything they don't need to know, and then anything that they would need to know, which is what you do,
exactly.
they don't focus on.
Exactly. It's an interesting story about how we got started. I was actually at a friend's practice, and I was looking for opportunities to help him out with software. And I originally thought that, hey, maybe I should write some software for practice management system or something similar. So I was observing what they were doing, right? And then I realized he had a $3,000 check, or close to $3,000 check for Yellow Pages sitting on his table. And I said, dude, you're spending that much on Yellow Pages every year? Because no, it's every month. I almost fell. I was like, every month? Why? And you're complaining about $10,000 for your software. I said, well, I think this is where I think this is where my patients come from. I don't really know. So I just religiously write checks to various places and hope that it works. And it's been getting more and more competitive. So I thought to myself, I should really solve a problem for him rather than building software that just makes me feel good. So that's where we took on marketing. We started doing analytics. I'm not a marketer. I am more of one now, but I wasn't a marketer. So I decided to do everything by the numbers, right? I proved to myself that this was working or that was working. We started doing some call tracking for him, did a little SEO, PPC, and we compared it with his existing
Explain him what
marketing.
SEO and PPC mean.
So just some search engine optimization to make sure that his name, address, phone number, and other things were consistent online. On PPC's pay-per-click ads. So we did some Google AdWord ads to make sure that, we had some people coming to the website, visiting. At the end of 3 months, we did a comparison. We'd brought in 1,000 phone calls. And the other avenues had brought in 56 phone calls. What I did was I also recorded every single phone call. So listened to all of them and figured out that of the 1,000 phone calls, only 100 of them were new patients. There were a whole bunch that were existing patients that were calling. There were a lot of marketers calling, believe it or not, a lot of SEO guys calling even back then. And I looked at what was it that brought the new patients in. The following month, we focused more on what brought new patients in. And we kept doing that. And in 6 months, the difference was significant.
And what is your website again?
Our main website is dentalwebnow.com. And the new...
Okay, say it again.
It's dentalwebnow.com.
Dentalwebnow.com.
The funny thing is, I still didn't think this was a product or this was a business because I was just doing this for my friend. And then we're sitting at a Thanksgiving dinner. There's 2 other dentists that are going, man, this Yellow Pages thing just doesn't seem to be working anymore. And they turned to me and they said, hey, you're doing something for so-and-so. Can you help us out? And before you know it, I have to come up with a company name.
and what? So I'm on Dental Web Now, beyond digital marketing now. And what are you? So what is your software do? Is it mostly a phone tracking software?
Yes. So we've been doing some marketing for dentists.
Is that you right there?
Yes, that's me. Not in a sumo suit. So what we realized is this marketing that we're doing is pretty complex, but it's taught us a lot, and we wanted to look at the core value of what we provided for our clients and our customers across the country, and realized that it was in the call tracking software that we had built for ourselves. So remember I said that I listened to 1,000 phone calls? It takes a lot of time to listen to 1,000 phone calls. Right? I tried outsourcing that, but I was never really quite comfortable with it, because people are leaving their social security numbers, right, on the phones and whatnot. So what we ended up doing is we ended up integrating with patient practice management systems. So we would know patient information on the fly, like who's an existing patient, who's a new patient, who's a lead that didn't come in. And then we could narrow down the number of calls you had to listen to just to make sure that your front desk and your marketing was on par, right? The only reason that a lead wouldn't convert, there's just a couple of reasons. Either your front desk didn't handle that call right, or that marketing is in the wrong place. Like that billboard is in the wrong neighborhood. You know, that billboard is 20 miles too far, and those people will never come to see you, even though they pick up the phone and call. So either way, your marketing and your new patient rate is going up every month. So I'll give you a couple of numbers. On average, we help our clients bring an extra $400,000 in production every year. And most of it is because of the call tracking. The other thing that we did,
I was trying to find on your site how much does this cost? What this dentistry and sensors? I want to get the bottom of it. So it's
the CallSumo costs $100 a month. Starts at $100 a month. The most popular package is $187 a month. So
I mean that is dirt cheap.
we wanted to price it in a way so you could look at it and say, hey, if I had to sit there and analyze and figure all this out, could I? Yeah, sure, you could. But really, you want to spend 5 or 6 hours trying to figure out your marketing, or let this thing do it almost perfectly every month for $100 a month. And it gives you recommendations on what to do.
How many dentists? So there's 100. What are your numbers? I hear there's 125,000 general dentists, 30,000 specialists. What are you hearing?
So
in the United States,
based on what we've seen, there's about 212,000 dentists. We were looking at it more as a category of high earning dentists, and dentists who are kind of struggling.
But of those, okay, so 200. Okay, so my number 125 would be practicing dentists, 30 hours a week or more, 30,000 specialists. Like California claims to have, I think something like 40,000 dentists, but I think like 15,000 of them are retired dentists from all over the United States, over 65, don't have an office. But the point I'm trying to get to is, what percent of dentists right now do you think track their incoming calls and knows any of these metrics?
I would say less than 10%.
I'd say less than 1%.
Okay.
I would say less than 1% of individual dentists. Now, group practices, big group practices, yes. Mm-hmm. But individuals, I mean, I can't think of anyone I know personally.
Yeah, I have seen a couple of bigger practices, more successful practices. Inherently they're more successful because they have been tracking their business side better. They use call tracking. And we've been introducing our products to those businesses, saying, hey, we're a better call tracking system, because even if you do have current call tracking, you got to pay someone to listen to those calls, or you're not doing those numbers, right? You're just saying, yeah, I got it there, but I still don't really know how many leads to how many patients, because I haven't really.
And what is a healthy lead? How many incoming calls does it take to get a patient in the chair?
It depends on the marketing channel. If you're doing direct response like AdWords, your conversion rate really should be above 60%.
Should be above 60%?
Correct. Because it's
Google
direct
AdWords.
Response. Yeah, it's a direct response medium.
Okay, what does that mean, a direct response medium?
Meaning you're paying money to show the ad to somebody who wants to come in to see a dentist, supposedly. So they're searching for things like toothache, or I have a dental emergency, or I need dental implants. They're coming to your website specifically with the intent of coming to see a dentist. So you should be converting 60% of those calls. And when our best performing practices convert above 80% of those calls. Now there are other ones that are just organic or social media. Social media marketing works in a slightly different way. The conversion ratio isn't nearly as high Originally, we didn't see any conversion ratio at all, but it's a long-term plan. It slowly grows.
But is it a really long-term plan? Because that's where I start to call bullshit. Like people say, well, don't expect any new patients from spending all this time on Facebook, but you're going to be building a brand and over time, blah 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 blah. But then someone else has a Google AdWord and gets someone in that day.
Right.
I mean, what do you think? I mean, what percent of the dentists you say are spending a lot of time building a Facebook page, and how do you think that compares to just getting out cash and buying Google AdWords?
Well, I'm a big proponent of Google AdWords. Because most dentists that I have, most of our clients, they don't have time. They barely have time to crunch numbers, right? And do other important things. So for them to really build up a sizable Facebook audience is going to take a long time. So I usually recommend doing Google AdWords. Facebook has paid ads too. We track that. And the best thing about our system is it's no BS marketing. You know exactly what you get for your dollar that you spent. And we saw that social media did not work that well. Until recently, there's a couple of new strategies that some marketers are using for social media that are kind of on par with the AdWords. But really, there's nothing that works quite as predictably as AdWords.
I mean, and what percent of the pay-per-click does Google have? What percent of the pay-per-click market does Google have?
Oh, it's Google or else, right? They have 80% plus, They won't say it's a monopoly because, only monopolies don't admit to being monopolies.
Yeah,
But,
I believe the last monopoly, the abusive monopoly I saw was, I think one government owns all the public schools, owns all the highways, owns all the airports. The only abusive monopoly I know of is Washington, D.C., not Google. But Google, is that what's got you the most excited about as far as online marketing? Is
Google
AdWords?
Facebook's platform has matured quite a bit from when they started, when we first monitored them. We've tried Bing. Bing works in certain areas. The thing that we've seen with Bing is you top out really easily. Whereas on Google, you could probably spend thousands of dollars and still be bringing in people. With Bing, we've had a hard time spending money, right? I have some dentists who have written me a blank check and said, spend whatever you want, right? And I wasn't able to spend a lot of money on Bing just because the search traffic, like 80+% of it is on Google.
And it's just a few weirdos that hate Google, isn't it? I mean, basically.
Well, it's not that. There's been studies that show that high-income women often search Bing. So if you're trying cosmetic procedures, right, and you want to get a shortcut in there, you could try Bing, and even if it results in 1 or 2 extra patients, what's the harm?
Okay, so let's talk. This is Dentistry Uncensored. Let's talk nitty-gritty specifics. So I go to your website, which is...
Well, if you want the CallSumo, you should go to callsumo.com. That's our new product, completely around calls.
You said
call
Dental
tracking.
Web Now.
Well, Dental Web Now is our company.
Okay, so now you're saying go.
And
to
we're
what?
releasing various products. The first of them is CallSumo.
But so now you're saying go to www.callsumo.com.
CallSumo.
Suma, S-U-M-A?
SUMO, like a sumo wrestler.
If someone's listening to this and says, dude, I want to start tracking my incoming calls, I
Right.
don't know how many of them are. And so if you're on Dentrix, EagleSoft, SoftDent, does this interface with them to know that the
Yes.
incoming call is not...
Yes.
Does it work with SoftDent?
Yes, it does. We interface with about 97% of the practice management systems that are out there.
How long have you been out?
We've been around for 3 years.
3 years, you
Yeah.
already interface with 97% of the
But
software
we set up
systems?
some strategic partnerships that helped us out a lot.
And what were your strategic partnerships?
So we crashed a lot of parties. We asked a lot of CEOs that, hey, we really want to get into your software. And other times we just looked at the back-end database and figured out, okay, here's how you can interface with these guys.
And so if they want to do all this, they go to callsumo.com.
That's correct.
And then what would be the next step?
The next step is just contact us. We'll follow up with you, and we'll get you set up. There's a little bit of JavaScript code that we put on your website that flips the phone numbers around. So if somebody's coming from Google AdWords, they'll see one phone number. If somebody's coming from Google Organic or Google Local, they'll see a different phone number. And we're able to do much deeper analytics than what you probably have.
And that's all for $185 a month.
That's right, $187 a month.
And then do you request that they give you a budget for Google AdWords?
We don't manage their Google AdWords for them. At Dental Web Now, we manage their Google AdWords for them. That's not something that we're growing right now. We actually have a backlog of clients that want to sign up with us.
So you have a backload of clients that wanted you
Want
to
the marketing services.
So then how come you're not growing that? I mean, if you're on Shark Tank,
right?
They would say, dude, you got one business where you're turning down clients.
Right. The big difference is with marketing, right? It's not like software. Our software enables our marketers. So if I want to grow the marketing business by tenfold, I need to find 10 other superstars who really know their stuff when it comes to SEO, when it comes to AdWords. And while we're growing that, we want to grow that more slowly. At the core of what we do is that software. We're software geeks. We happen to learn AdWords. We happen to learn SEO. And we just faced the facts and said, there are other great marketers out there. And one of the really exciting developments we've had is we've been talking to a lot of the other marketing agencies in the dental industry who want to bundle our product with their services so they can prove to their customers, here's what we're bringing you. We also have a caller ID that we've introduced with CallSumo, so it pops up and lets you know when a new patient is on the line. Nobody else has that. We let you know where they're from and what they're potentially looking for. So, for example, if you're doing a dental implant campaign through Google AdWords for your client, and somebody comes in through that, it pops up and tells you the person who's on the other end of the line is most likely looking for dental implants. So you be very nice and you pick up the phone, answer courteously, and close that sale.
I think this is one of the hottest things out there because a lot of people are trying to grow their business by adding a new product. Like, okay, I'm gonna go learn how to do Invisalign, or I'm gonna learn how to place implants, or I'm gonna learn to do this. But you already know how to do cleanings, fillings, and crowns. And if you just got 10 more new patients a month,
right,
you'd be blowing doors. So what kind of results can people expect?
So as long as people are paying attention to the numbers and they're using the system, and I don't see why you wouldn't, because it literally pops up in your face to let you know that a new patient is on the line. Month over month, the increase is really, really extraordinary. By about 6 to 8 months, you probably see like a 20% increase in production, depending, again, I'm generalizing, depending on where your production is already. But in 1 year, what we've seen is a lot of practices that were sub-million went above. They went from 900,000 to 1.3 million. They went from 1.1 million to 1.5 million.
But you know what you're saying? You know what you're actually saying in between the lines? See, the average dental office pulls in $675 and takes home $175. And anytime you go to a consultant or smart guys like you're talking about your average clients doing 900,000 or 1.1 or 1.2, and it's like, yeah, exactly. All the people, like consultants will say, well, we got, it seems like, our average client does, like 2 to 4 million. It's like, no, only the people smart enough to get to 2 to 4 million are the ones using all the consultants.
Right.
And so the ones smart enough to be banging on your door are already at 900 and you're taking them to 1.2 or 1.3. But the guys out there listening who are suffering at 450 and then they go home at night and sell Amway to their cousins, they're not knocking on your door. And that's what I'm trying to reverse with a podcast, that the people who need the most help for new patients aren't going to call you, and you should. The people that need consultants the most, they're miserable. They can't. Their house is upside down, but they don't want to spend money on a consultant, and they should.
Absolutely. I completely agree with that. We've actually seen a few dentists go through that transition ourselves. We're not dental consultants per se. We're more geeks. We can really help you with your marketing. We've seen the benefits of having a good consultant who knows what they're doing.
And you're in Melbourne, Florida.
Yes, Melbourne, Florida.
Is that a suburb of Orlando?
Some people say it is. The reason I'm there is because of NASA. I used to work for NASA, flew down there. I was on Cocoa Beach. Melbourne is a little bit south of NASA, and a lot of the ex-NASA guys are there.
What do you say, ex-NASA? Did NASA scale back, or did they have...
Yeah, NASA had the big shuttle program that got canceled.
And, I didn't think about it. A lot of unemployment, a lot of people laid off there.
Yeah, a lot of smart people. So
what was the
really
maximum employment of NASA, and then what did it shrink down to?
Thousands and thousands of jobs went away. But still, there are many other tech industries there, and it was just... it it was just great. I mean, for a startup as small as ours, we were able to get one of the top guys in artificial intelligence to come help us out build some of our algorithms. So we're continuing to push the technological boundary and doing things that we couldn't do in Silicon Valley.
I knew I liked you the minute I met you. I did. I mean, you're that's an amazing story. So you're in Melbourne, Florida. Do you? We have probably 83% of our show is from the U.S. and 17% is from 141 other countries.
Oh, wow.
Are you just U.S.? Do you do Canada?
We are currently based in U.S. And we focus on dentists only in the U.S.
Dentists, I mean general dentists only, or just dentists?
And dentistry.
But I mean, you do orthodontist, oral surgeon. Do you do all the specialties?
Yes, we do all the specialties.
And do the other specialists need this stuff as much, or is it mostly the general dentist?
We do orthodontists, and orthodontists see a lot of great results from it as well. If you're doing marketing, right, for just about anything, right, you can use it. If you're specific that all of your calls come in from referrals, then this might not make as much sense for you.
So it seems to me that orthodontist, that's the biggest specialty. There's 10,000 orthodontists. You cut them in half. Each half would still be bigger than number 2, which is 5,000 oral surgeons. Right. But they have the most incentive for advertising because each new client is worth about $6,500.
Correct.
So they're huge. And it seems like a pediatric dentist, when I got out of school 30 years ago, they got most all their referrals from general dentists, but now they're getting almost all their referrals from pediatricians.
Actually, pediatric dentists, that's a special one that you bring up because several of our clients are pediatric dentists, and they have grown so much. And they do have to advertise heavily because moms and dads, you want to take your kids to the dentist. You really want to take them to the best dentist. You're going to Google, you're going to look them up, you're going to see where they went to school, right? What other people are saying about them.
I took all 4 of my boys. I only took them to the vet. It was cheaper. And look at Ryan's teeth. See, they look good.
They're perfect.
I just took them to a vet twice a year.
Then again, they could see you too, so they had a benefit.
He gave them all their shots. He dewormed them. Put a flea collar on them. Said you're good to go. Neutered them, neutered them. So any other specialists chasing on pediatric dentists and orthodontists? Any other specialists tracking you down?
Recently, we've been seeing this huge trend in implants. So a lot of general dentists are doing implants too. But if you're doing implants, a lot of people are searching for dental implants. A lot more of the general population know what they are.
So that's a roundabout deal. So I'm a dentist. I'm looking at adding something to my armamentarium. I need to learn. I want to learn a new skill. Maybe it's for business. Maybe it's for boredom. But what would be the top things the consumers are searching for that maybe I should go learn how to do?
So consumers, depending on the area, again, we're in different parts of the country and we see different trends. If you're in Florida, you have a lot more of the elderly population. They're looking for dentists who are gentle, dentists who are, nice, kind. Dentures are huge in Florida, obviously, right? All on 4s, all on 5s or 6 or whatever, right? Those are very popular in Florida.
So are they searching all on 4, or are they just searching dental implants?
They'll be looking for dental implants, or they'll be looking for...
Do you get to see the keywords they're searching for?
Yes, we do. As a matter of fact...
Why don't you do an article for us on the top key search words or something?
Would love to. So one of the cool things I'd love to show you on our caller ID is when it pops up and lets you know that a new patient is on the line, one of the things that we let you know is what they searched for. So before you even answer the phone, you know that the guy on the other side just looked for dental implants or looked for all on 4s. So you're prepared to handle that call differently.
Wow, I have not seen that. Okay, so that just told me on now I want you to do my office.
That's awesome.
So my email is howard@dentaltown.com. That feature alone, I do not have that feature. I want that feature bad.
That's awesome. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, and so our office would be a good case study for you. Absolutely. And then we'll see how it turns out and write up in my Howard Speaks column, and which goes to 125,000 dentists each month. And I think this is a hotspot. There's so many, anyone will tell you that new patient flow equals cash flow. And you get a dental office with no new patients, and that's tough. And if you get 10 new patients a month, that's 15 new patients a month maybe. 30 is nice, but man, once you start getting 50, 60 new patients a month, then what's nice about that is what you don't enjoy doing, you can just feed off to all the specialists and pick all the low-hanging fruit for yourself. You're happy, your specialists are happy, everyone's making money.
Yeah. And what's really interesting is we get to see what it takes. Some of our dentists get 70. Our top dentists get over 200 patients per month.
Okay, now
they have a couple of...
Do you see any other trends? Do you see the guys getting 200 a month or to 70 a month, more small town rural where or these big cities?
They seem to be suburbs, usually.
They seem to be suburbs.
They seem to be
that are
suburbs.
doing the best?
That are doing the best. Yeah, they seem to be suburbs. They are in decent income areas, higher than average, right? In Silicon Valley, in Chicago area. But one of the things that we have seen is nobody jumps overnight to something like that. Nobody suddenly starts getting from 0 to 30 patients. So when we started working with dentists, the ones that were getting 3, we'd say, what's your goal for next month? Because as you're getting more new patients, you have to know how to handle them. There's a lot of growing for the practice to do as well. So the guys that are doing 70 patients weren't always doing that. They grew slowly over a year to where they're now getting 70 or more. They have specialized training for their front desk. They have doctors who know how to handle high patient volume.
Now there's another side of this coin where there's a lot of data showing that a lot of offices, it takes 5 people to call in to get one butt in the chair, because so they'll call up and say like, how much is a crown? And they'll say $1,000, and the patient won't know what to say. Just say, okay, thanks, bye.
Right.
As opposed to learning the person answering the phone to convert that and say, that's a great question. We're at the corner of 48th and Elliott, right by Today's Dental, and we have, why don't you come down and we'll have doctor look, and then he'll tell you what type of crown you need, because you might need, there's several different types of crown, and we'll tell you, and they're just trained to convert.
Right.
And then that's like 10% of the receptionists. Then the other 90% answer a technical question. Did you also track what percent are put on hold when they call in?
Yeah, early on we track what's going on with the leads, especially, and to that specific one, right? A lot of dentists have that question. Oh, I only get callers who want, a price. Well, there's a specific way to handle that. Now, while we are not guys that train front desk or receptionists, we actually know from a data-driven point of view what they should say. And my simple little bit of advice is when somebody calls and asks for a price, first say, I'm sorry, I didn't get your name. And they say, hey, my name's Don. Say, hi, Don, how are you doing today? As soon as you humanize it, it becomes less transactional. And it's not just, I'm not just making this up. We see this.
No, you are making it, because you said your name was Don and your name's Ahmed. I'm confused now. I don't even know what's going on.
We've seen that just doing small things like that, the best receptionists convert at a significantly higher rate.
So if they're calling in with a toothache, they're motivated to just they're asking you. That's why I tell every
Right.
dentist to learn endo, because with endo they beg you to do the procedure.
Right.
They beg you to pull this tooth out of their head. So you need to learn how to do extractions in endo, because you're an introvert geek dentist, and those are the procedures where patients are begging you to do it.
Right.
But if you have to sell the patient on it, like let's fortify this denture with some implants, or let's not do the insurance will pay for a 3-unit bridge, but and your margin is fixed. Let's do an implant crown, and where you can set the fee anywhere you want. Those are hard things. But what data driven things have you seen on procedures to do? What the receptionist can do to convert more? What to get more new patients?
So the best thing that we've seen is receptionists who just get the patients in. After that, it's really the dentist's job. As long as the patients trust the dentist, and this is the other side of the data-driven thing. We don't have a product for it yet, but we do it for our existing Dental Web Now customers, is we look at the patient relationship. So once they're in, we send out surveys, we figure out how those patients like that practice. And if the patients trust that practice, you really can upsell them on the things that they need, because they trust you and the trust factor is high. They also refer you more patients, and you see it at the end of the day in your production numbers. So I think personally, the best thing the receptionist can do is get the patient in. Once
Absolutely.
they're in, you have the relationship.
But here's the other problem. You know, the data from the ADA, they got a great economist. Great data is, you know, they're showing that the average dentist can't get a new patient for 5.2 days. And a lot of that's just because the dentist won't have an extra operatory. They'll go buy a $75,000 laser, but they won't put in an extra operatory. And so a lot of them don't have the facility to just say, come on down. Every hospital has an emergency room, and every dental office receptionist has got to have an empty room with no one ever scheduled so she can be the closer. And every time Ahmed has a question, she says, well, Ahmed, come on down. I'm right. You know where Safeway is at 48th and Elliott?
Right.
I'm right there. That building there, Today's Dental, right in front, right next to the Pizza Hut. Come on down. Come on down. You know, the receptionist, I mean, how can she close when dumbass will go buy a $135,000 CAD cam, but not have an extra operatory to get a new patient calling to come in just to catch the fish, not to cook, clean, and eat it,
Right.
but just to close it, get her in here so she meets her staff, meets the dentist, finds out, oh yeah, we need to do this. We're not going to do it today. I'm going to give you penicillin and Vicodin, but we're going to get you in Thursday and do a root canal or whatever.
Right. So the business savvy definitely has to be there, and that's where dental consultants and mentors come in. And believe it or not, a lot of our early clients are townies, which is why we've known about Dental Town. We've been a big fan of yours for a long time, because as you're growing, like I said, if you've got 3 patients per month and you're going to 70, you're probably putting in an operatory or two, bringing in someone else, you know, and growing it and looking at it like a business. So absolutely, the front desk needs to have the resources and have the availability to bring somebody in.
But what just
they
made
need
me
it.
just my heart mystery beats is when my 4 girls answering the phone can see what that person was searching for before she answered the phone. I mean, how freaking cool is that?
Right.
That's crazy.
They know that a new patient
So
is
how
calling.
do
and
you know, how do you know that?
So we have a lot of analytics embedded on the sites.
Yeah.
We also put different phone numbers in different places. So let's say even offline advertising. So let's say you're doing a billboard, and on the billboard you're doing a teeth whitening special, right? So when the dialog box pops up, it'll say it's coming from the billboard, and the girls will know, okay, this is somebody calling for the teeth whitening specials. That phone number.
But what
doesn't
if they were
exist.
just searching on their iPhone?
If they're searching on their iPhones, it's even better, because we place cookies on the visitors so that we know who they are. So the second that they pick up the phone, we know which page they were on, how they got to your website, you know, whether it was through AdWords, and AdWords gives us keywords and other data.
Can you pick up what they actually typed into the search bar?
If it's Google and they're in anonymous mode, it doesn't always come through. But with Google AdWords, that's a lot easier, because you do different campaigns, campaigns for implants, campaigns for TMJ or whatever, what have you, and that's a lot easier to tell that, okay, this person typed in keywords this and came to your practice, because Google tells you that data.
Well, I want to start a relationship with you. I want to do this for my own. You got a new customer.
That is awesome. That is
You got
awesome.
a new customer. You know,
By the way,
people-
I already talked to Richard yesterday. We were talking about .NET and other.
Richard Ortiz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's your application developer.
Yeah, he's
Awesome guy.
He's the iPhone app developer, right? And then the Larry is the Droid app developer.
Okay.
And I wanted you to meet Ken Scott. I was texting him, Ken, come here, but I guess he just came and he's a programmer, so he didn't think of that. He said, yeah, I want you to meet my team. And did you meet Lori Zalowski?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so she's my president from like 1998 to 2016, but she's here. I need you to meet her. In fact, let's and this will be a good pilot deal, and then I bet we'll get good results. Then we'll talk about it in the magazine, and we'll come back and do a podcast again,
awesome.
Explaining what you've done for me and look at the data and how it's changed, and I'll be a case study for you.
Oh, couldn't be more excited.
Yeah, and because that's the and the other thing is I'm in a competitive market. I mean, I'm in Phoenix. There's
Okay.
3,800 dentists in Phoenix. I mean, you know, one of the things I knew that would cost me is if, you know, when I got dental school, I knew if I would have went to one of them small towns in Kansas where you're the only dentist, I mean, wow, how cool is that? But I wanted to live in Phoenix. My mom's, you know, but anyway, but it's a very competitive market, and there's 2 dental schools there, and you need to you really need to have your A game on SEO and all that stuff. So help me get my A game on.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
But you need to get back to your booth with the customers here on the floor, and we'll get you. You got to meet Lori Zalowski.
Okay.
I'll go find her and send her over to your booth, and let's get some more new patients.
It's been a wonderful meeting. This is exactly the kind of folks that we wanted to meet. A lot of the dentists ask the hard questions, and a lot of them are very excited. So we're hoping to sign up quite a few new dentists next week.
Well, you know what
on our system.
you know what people got to get about Dental Town. I mean, probably 4 out of 5 dentists at 5 o'clock, they're done. They go home. They want a beer. They want to watch ESPN. They're done. They're burned out. They're fried. Who are the dentists that when they get home, get on to Dental Town and surf and talk to other dentists till midnight? And it's just the cream of the crop. I mean, these are guys that are just crushing it. I mean, you can go, you just go to your local state meeting, and they're all going to stand around and talk about the economy and Putin and Obamacare and blah 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 blah. And these people here are crushing it. I mean, I've ran into so many people, and they tell you what they're doing, they tell you what they're trying, they're telling you. I mean, these are just people going for it.
Absolutely.
They
love what they do. We love what we do. And we love having customers who really engage, who appreciate
I can tell you love what you do, man. Your karma just exudes itself. Dude, thank you so much. I love your suit. You got spunk, you got character. All right, buddy.